Well, certainly very interesting driving south from the Inverness area last night down the A9. Snow on the road, we're seeing blowing, drifting, and very, very icy conditions indeed. Driving up the big brae just as you come out of Inverness, the lorry was all over the place, and a couple of times I thought I was actually really losing it. But thankfully, I managed to get south, and the conditions did improve as I headed south. But certainly, this overall theme is going to continue through the weekend and on into next week as well, with wintry showers, cold temperatures, icy conditions, more accumulating snow, not just primarily to the hills but also the low levels. And the reason why is we've got the positive NAO keeping Atlantic systems driving eastwards across the UK, but also that negative Arctic oscillation has the cold polar air in the mid-latitude flow pattern. Interesting coming up this weekend, because we're going to see not only the entrainment of cold air coming eastbound from the Atlantic, but also we're going to see a build-up of cold air over Scandinavia. High pressure that builds in is going to set up a system that is going to then pull cold air underneath high pressure and into the UK. So if you look at the 850 temperatures off the GFS, you can see exactly what I'm meaning here. So plenty of cold air, 850, and down to the surface over the British Isles here as we go forward here. Notice the next system represented here, right along this demarcation zone between cold ahead of it, milder air to the south, but that's the frontal system that's pushing through. Notice here how it literally, that mild air gets squeezed out by cold air in place over the UK, and cold air that's coming in the backside of that front. So we'll narrow down that area of mild air as we go into Saturday. So you can see here the system comes through. We're going to have a mix of rain down the low levels, sleet and snow up over higher ground. But as the cold air starts to kind of build within the atmosphere, it pushes down to the surface, and therefore we might see a changeover from liquid to frozen even down the low levels here. So that system comes through during the day on Saturday, but notice here, watch the air and the temperature over Scandinavia. What we're going to start to see is, with the push of another push of milder air coming in towards the UK, what we're going to start to see is that area of cold air starting to slip its way southwestwards towards the southern half of the British Isles. Now this is bitterly cold air, folks. This to me is a proper beast from the east, not this northeasterly flow with no cold air associated with it. This here is your proper cold northeasterly or easterly wind, because the source region in which the air is blowing from is bitterly cold. So as we start to see high pressure kind of topple in over the top of the UK, the winds blowing around the southern flank of that from Scandinavia will push into the southern half of the British Isles, it looks like, according to the GFS anyway, as we go through the second half of the weekend and into early next week. So these are temperatures well below -10, -15. Quite unusual, not out of the question. We do see it when we get a beast from the east type setup, but this is a fairly unusual cold air mass that the GFS has pushing in underneath the area of high pressure that's building over the top of the UK here. So what we've got here is another system attempting to push in during the day on Monday. Once again, notice here that there is a squeeze play between cold coming in from Scandinavia, cold coming in on the back side of an area of low pressure crossing over the Atlantic. The two meet, shrinks the mild air, and once again we've got this scenario where rain may change over to snow as we go forward here. So we're going to continue to see this wintry flavour as we go right through next week, it looks like. And you can see here a big turnaround from the mild that we've seen over Europe, changing over to bitterly cold. That will try to push westwards here, but of course with the positive NAO we're continuing to see the flow coming in from the Atlantic. So the UK is really in a battle zone between continental and Atlantic, and it looks as if the cold air is marginally winning out, mainly over high ground, but even down the low levels we're going to get winteriness with the weather as well. When you've got the clear skies, lighter winds with high pressure building in, you expect to see temperatures colder, of course. But as you can see here, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right through next week, we continue to see this overall emphasis. Milder air gets squeezed out with the cold air dominating the pattern overall. So an interesting wintry flavour to the weather as we go right through next week here. So that's it for today. Hope you have a great day Thursday, and hopefully I'll be back again through the course of the weekend.